love definitely is a big topic and need for this upcoming generation, this next generation. I know you have a huge heart for young people and want to see them raised up and trained and really released into whatever they're called to do. You have an intern program, or you have interns, and you're about to start a school of ministry. Is that right? Can you talk about that?
Well, we're starting a school called the Activation Center, and the whole concept is that many people have gone to one or more schools and they get an awesome foundation, but they don't know what to do next. And so it's kind of like a career counseling school where we kind of let people experiment with ministry gifts, and also we talk to them about their identity and like who they are, what they want to do, and help formulate a plan of action for them. Sure. But it's not that we're helping them, we're teaching them how to manage their own plans. And I feel like if you hear God for yourself, you'll fight for it till you die. But if somebody else tells you who you are, what to do, then you'll always have confusion. And so we're trying to teach them how to hear from God about their planning and about their normal life. And so what we've had is about 10 major internships for us that were 20 to 50 people. That a few of them were actually smaller than that, and a lot of our recruiting has happened out of those. But besides that, most of those people are now in some sort of occupation that they always dreamed of having, but they didn't know how to take the next steps to, because they didn't know how to have confidence or faith in their own authority, their own powerfulness. And so we're not teaching people that they have to become powerful. We're teaching people that they're extremely powerful. They're the most powerful person in their own life. Wow. And so the internship does a biblical base of just spiritual truth, teaches about the supernatural, we have a lot of biblical studies classes, teaches about Israel. But really the bottom line of it is it teaches people to hear from God so they can make decisions that will impact the rest of their life. The final internship, by the way. We don't want them to go to another one after that. They can go to school after that, but I mean, as far as it's the final, if they go through like 3 ministry schools, they should be done with ours. When they go to ours, it's done. No more. It's like they should be able to make decisions and go forward. They need to be powerful now.
We're in the LA area. Beverly Hills is kind of a huge place in this area. And there was a show in the 90s, Beverly Hills 90210. You remember that?
Yeah, sure.
Now, the 80s were in, and they'll probably be fading out. The 90s will be coming back in here soon. Do you remember the sideburns that Dylan, McKay, and Brandon would have? Yeah?
Sure.
Would you rather rock sideburns like that for the rest of your life, or wear the early 90s fashion forever from here on out for the rest of your life?
Sideburns. I could do sideburns.
The sideburns?
The 90s fashion scares me. We were just looking at pictures from the 90s, and I went, oh, dear Jesus, what did we think? Yeah, for sure. Sideburns they'll always be in at some point. Right.
Now, what is kind of next? What's your upcoming, strategy or plan for, the next few years here for the church and for this area?
We're launching an entertainment department. So what we've been doing behind the scenes for 3 years is ministering to people in the entertainment industry. Now we're going to start region-wide, getting all the other ministries. There's amazing ministries that minister in the entertainment industry here. Yeah. And we're kind of having them collaborate with us to do mixtures at clubs where people who are Christians in our industry can meet each other from all the way across the board. Because if you only go to one church and you only meet the Christians in the entertainment industry in that church, it's like your pool of experience with other Christians is going to be very low. So we want to create an environment where anybody from any church or any Christian belief system can come and just meet like lots of other empowered people. Wow. Then we'll also do like meetings geared towards like events geared towards the entertainment industry, all the different entertainment industries, which is sports and film and movies and modeling and fashion, all these different things, arts, video games. So we're going to be doing events over the next 3 or 4 years to each industry. We're also going to be doing a lot of stuff still with social justice. We do extreme social justice, so a lot of it's war zones or human trafficking. We do stuff in the city on Thursday nights. We have an outreach where people look for human trafficking. Wow. And they pray, and we've actually found and closed down human trafficking with the local FBI and local police. And so we've had some crazy stuff happen. So we're going to be developing that with other churches and training them how to look for human trafficking. We're going to be working with our city fire department, police department. We're really called to Hollywood and MacArthur Park. Those are our 2 main areas, and Beverly Hills is part of that. There's a lot of churches around that, but there's not many in that. So we want to see about 10 more churches birth out of what we're doing that have different expressions. And some of the ones that already birthed, we want to help them come into a phase of, a lot of them have asked us to help them come into a phase where it's not just church-centric, but it's actually city-centric. Like, what are the prayer lists of our city, and let's answer that as opposed to just be our own prayer list for our own movement. So we're really an activation center for the city, and I believe that over the next few years, we'll start to let ourselves be known. We haven't even done a grand opening. We'll let ourselves be known because we'll have enough, operations system and backbone process. But we're going to go for revival in the city in every way. I have a vision for 5,000 revivalists to be raised up in Hollywood right now. And that means that they're going to be activated in whatever industry they're called to, but that they have a heart for Hollywood, that they're actually doing something with Hollywood, and they know how to pray for the sick, they know how to prophesy, they know how to hear from God for their own lives, and they know how to create impact in their region or their city for that. And so I believe that the Jesus People movement is going to start again, but it's not going to be surrounding and filling churches, although that'll happen as a byproduct, but it's going to be people who feel empowered to transform culture. And so that's what we're creating, transforming cultural people.
That's awesome. Yeah. What are the websites that people can check out?
Expression58.org is our main website, which is like super slow and old. And then we have a brand new global children's movement for our Children at Risk program. And so, yeah, those are the two main ones right now. I have a Facebook. Anybody can Facebook me. I have a fan page because it's too many friends. So I have a fan page so anybody can get on there, and I talk to people all the time.
Nice, nice. One last question. In the movie Goonies, which is one of my favorites as well. Love that. Do you remember Sloth?
Of course.
Baby Ruth? You gonna love it? Yeah, all right. Okay, now, Sloth ended up having a great heart, but he did have a little bit of a temper and violent streak. If you were to stick Sloth in a cage and tell him to all-out fight Dr. Phil, who do you think would come out the victor?
Dr. Phil, because he'd use a psychology. He'd use some stupid psychology and break him down, and Sloth would be crying in a puddle over in the corner and feeling stupid because Dr. Phil, as much as I love you, Dr. Phil, you're mean. And you need to learn about, like, you're a prophet without love. You need to learn love, and so it's important. And they're making Goonies #2. It's called Goonies Never Say Die with all the original cast. The rumor is Meryl Streep's going to be in it, and Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are producing it, but it hasn't got green lighted yet. It's yellow lighted. So pray for Goonies. Pray.
That just made my day. That was it. That made my day. Hey, thank you so much, Shawn. I appreciate it. Expression58, Think International, LA. Peace.